This episode of Scav Talk is brought to you by Lethal Gaming Gear. And welcome back to Scav Talk, everyone. Today's episode, we're going to be discussing the Wipe Patch 16.0. Winter Season Update is upon us. Let's go, PogChamps. That's basically it. I mean, that's all we're going to be yapping about is the Wipe.
That's true. That's it. Yeah. How are you doing so far?
I'm doing good. I
Are
managed.
you enjoying yourself, importantly?
It's experience. I did manage to convince my friend group. We were previously playing Delta Force. I was like, guys, Tarkov just got an update, and they were already like, grapple. And I was like, but there's no Flea for 2 weeks. And they were like, hold on, wait a minute, hold up. And yeah, I'll talk more about that because Tarkov has killed my friendship with my group.
Joyous. It's in the same category as, Monopoly and Risk at Christmas.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've been doing all right today. We've just been doing some interchangey stuff. I've been where are we up to? So I am at level 18.
Oh,
4 strength, 4 stam, leather belt, level 18. For those in the know of that meme. Back in the day, I was showing my age. That is. But yeah, level 18. So we're doing interchange stuff because we finally got Ragman to level 2. So he's given us the tasks. We did big sale. Got through oh man, we had like a real like hurdle for like 12 to, I would say, about 15 was hard. I was like stuck at level 12 for like hours and hours and hours, just preparing stuff, just like trying to find enough meds to get the Dorms 206 key, enough stuff to get the customs office key, and then I'd beat my head against so every single wipe, right? Delivery from the past, I just do it in one go.
yeah.
It takes me one try, and that's it. And that's how it's been since like wipe 2 or something. Church, it took me like my customs office key is like 35 out of 40. It was bad. It was bad time. And one of the times I went, the door was open. Like some of the times there was like some raids, I didn't even make it to the office. I just died straight away. I then made it to the office, like got the package, died twice on customs. I only went to factory like I think 4 times. I died 3 times on factory and then managed to finally do it on the 4th go. But it was just like unbelievable stuff, right? I'd be like, go to Santa's sleigh, find all of the class 4 stuff, go in and just get like head eyes shot by some random pistol man in the corner on factory, like threads it through all the class 4 armor and just kills me. I'm just like,
so it was factory that was the troublemaker, not
it was
customs.
Both.
Oh, okay.
It was both. The whole thing was just miserable. But in a turn of fortune, I managed to get a big sale done today. You have to go to all the shops. You have to do all in one go now. And I did that in one go this morning, so that was okay. Because interchange is a bit of an Achilles heel for me, but I'm getting better at that one. So now we're through that. We're kind of on to manifest. I just got slug-legged by a player scav, trying to get the I got 2 out of the 3 manifests and died, which was like, oh. So that was a bit annoying. But yeah, it's going okay. It's going all right. 60% survival, something. I feel like it's all right. But yeah, like stash is just like full of junk. It's very interesting time.
Me and my lowly level 10 still stuck on Salewa task.
Yeah, I got very lucky with Salewas because when I was scavving is like almost impossible at the beginning of the wipe on the maps you actually want to go to. You can scav on ground 0, you can scav on woods, and like woods is good to be fair. But like if you want to scav on the streets of Tarkov, you're going to be waiting 5 business days before you can actually get into that map. Yeah. And but the beauty is about like making videos. And today I shuffled my schedule around a little bit because I had to. But usually I'm like making vids in the morning, and so what I do is I just load up Tarkov and then I just like scav into like any map I want, like streets or something, and then I just like I'm working. So then eventually, after like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, the map pops up and I'm like, okay, we get to play a scav raid now. And I did actually end up scavving on the streets, and I went to, where the Cardinal apartment building is? The one like, it's like right at the back of the map. It's like weird because it's like in its own little like strut off. If you go too far one way, you get shot by a sniper and stuff. It's like really weird. And I went there because I was like, there's a medical area that's probably not going to be looted. And there were 2 Salewas in there. And I was like, oh, so good. So all I did was I got... Yeah, it's good for that. And so I found like the syringe or whatever, got med station to level 1, and then crafted the last one out of a car kit. So thankfully, like the early game stuff actually wasn't too bad. And the same with the gas annies as well. Actually ended up going quite well. Got those really early. So yeah, like at least through those bottlenecks. Like the TOS was actually the one that took me the longest this time, bizarrely. I ended up just waiting until I had one on my scav and just left. So okay, so I guess we should go through the patch. I mean, the patch is actually massive. Like, I've done a big video about it, so people can go and watch that if they want to go and see the full thing. Well, let's pick up some interesting parts out of this. I guess we should start with. We'll start with the in-game event. Now, I don't actually know the full details about it yet, but things are sort of like, I don't know if people are really that bothered about it right now. People are still trying to get up to speed. Like doing a 5-map marathon, 6-map marathon doesn't really feel that appealing right out of the gate on a wipe where you have no access to the Flea. I feel. But basically, so this new in-game event, Khorovod, if you go to Escape from Tarkov PMC, on the map selection, a bit like it was last time in Marathon, in the top right, there's the mode where you switch to the Khorovod mode. And it's a bit like a sort of minimized Marathon mode. So if I switch over now, you have to start on Shoreline. And it says you wear special armband and stock up on the special festive fuel. And it's like a sort of Marathon horde mode thing. You have to go Shoreline, Reserve, like Shoreline, Lighthouse, Reserve, Woods, Factory, Customs, Interchange. And so you have to basically turn up. There's this new fuel, which is the Dan Jekyll's winter fuel or whatever. It's like green.
Yeah.
And you normally find it in the areas around the Christmas tree and stuff. So apparently you have to take that. You fuel up the generator. You light the Christmas tree for 5 minutes, defend against Scav horde wave. And then once that's done, then you can move on to the next map. But you have to do the transit. You have to do it all in one go, right? It's the usual Marathon thing. So 6 maps, 5 minutes each. Technically, it doesn't have to take too long, but I don't know if the transits are not necessarily right next to the event, so it'll probably take 20 minutes per map or something just to get there, do the thing, leave, get there, do the thing, and then loading time or whatever. So you're probably looking at 2-3 hours straight without any interruptions.
I'm a little confused though. Is it an actual separate queue and lobby when you switch over?
I mean, it wasn't for the Marathon mode,
right?
So I guess no.
Okay.
But you get given an armband that you're supposed to wear so that other people, you can prove to other people you're doing it.
Right.
I think is the idea. Although that's kind of strange because I can wear the armband just now. So I could just wear
Perfect.
it. I don't know. It would make sense if you could only wear it while you're doing that mode. I think that would actually be better because then you could prove that you were doing the thing. But I just don't think anybody's actually trying to do it yet because it's just difficult. It's unlikely that you're going to win, and you're resource limited at the moment and whatnot. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, and people are saying transits are broken. What do you mean? I think transits do work. So transits do work on some maps.
I haven't used them personally yet.
I haven't tried either. I think they are only working on the Khorovod maps. I think the transits are only working in the Khorovod mode. That's how I understand it. But again, I haven't tried it. I don't really want to try it because
I'm in the same
it just feels like something's and I think Pestily was trying to do it or something, and then he spawned in with a team of 3 Timmies on one of the transits. So that's still in the game. I just don't feel incentivized to try something new. I mean, as a very small side tangent, right? Customs has now had a green flare extract. That was one of the hidden changes. So there's a green flare exfil, which is by Fortress, down the train tracks, where you used to just get sniped out. Apparently you have to be stood in a very, very specific place to make it work. I tried to do it with 60 kilos of loot and 1 million kills, and I used the flare extract like I would with any other signal flare area, popped the thing, wandered out, got shot by the sniper. So at this point, I love the update, right? But I feel at this point in EFT, you're just not incentivized to utilize new mechanics until someone else has already tried it, or you try it on offline or something. You kind of just have to, because they just often they just don't work. They just don't work, right? There's no way, a flare can be seen from 1 million miles away. There's no reason why I need to be stood 3 meters to the right up the, it has no logical bearing upon a flare, right? It just doesn't make sense. So it's just annoying. And then on that basis, I just don't really want to try it because there's just going to be some annoying thing that until I've read the wiki and gone through avoid this and avoid that, and you have to do it in this order. And,
right.
It's just, there's going to be something in there that's just well, there goes 2 hours of my life. I'm going to have to go again now I know this information. I'd rather wait for other people to find out the information first and then look at it later, especially for stuff like that. It's just painful.
Yeah, it'd be different if it was end of wipe,
Yeah, then it doesn't matter so much because the gear doesn't matter or whatever, and you're just
Well,
like,
you
oh,
would
just
be
like
more
I'll go
incentivized
figure it out.
too. Yeah, to just do it yourself. It's something to do. Whereas,
Yeah.
now it's like the loot, everything matters, right? It's like you're.
Yeah. And even more so, I mean, we can talk about like maybe we just like jump about to different parts of this, like, and then we'll just go through to remind ourselves of anything that's um that we've missed. I mean, we'll talk about this next part first, right? Which is the whole like hideout finding raid thing. Like the two biggest changes this wipe are obviously, and it's like hidden way down. I wish I'd reordered my patch notes video, honestly, because like they hid it like so far down the list, and I just kind of did it in order, and like halfway through recording I was like, I actually regret doing it like this because there's so much like random gumph that doesn't matter
Yeah.
that much. It's like flavor stuff, but like the important points are like 3/4 of the way through the document. But the two most important parts of this wipe are Flea locked for 2 weeks, completely locked. So even if you get, so it's still level 15, but no one can access it for 2 weeks. And then the second part of it is that all hideout modules to be built requires find in raid on the items that you're using to build them. So crafting inputs are still normal, so you can buy crafting inputs. Not that we can yet because the Flea's locked. so you will be able to buy crafting inputs, or you could put like crafting inputs in your secure container, and they will still work. That's fine. But anything you need to build a module, you have to find it yourself, and it's a massive difference. There's lots of people talking both ways about it, and it's interesting. Like just the whole conversation on it. I guess I'll just give my quick take on it. Like people saying, is this good for casuals? Is it bad for casuals? Like always that conversation comes up, and I think that Flea lock for 2 weeks is good for casuals, because a lot of people take a while to get to level 15, and so they're just fighting against people who are 15 plus with Flea access when they don't have it. This way everyone's on a level playing field. Even though people are higher level and have traders, at least they don't have Flea. So that's better for casuals. Having to find all the items for your hideout is obviously like worse for casuals in like a strict, like the gap between the experienced player and the newer player perspective, but it makes it much more interesting. So I don't know whether that's necessarily like bad. I don't think it's a bad change. I think it's just, it makes the game different, and it is harder for like, it's very easy to argue, right? Casuals kind of depend more on the flea market. Sorry, not on the flea market. Casuals depend a lot more on the hideout than more experienced players. The most experienced players don't even bother building the hideout. So the change actually doesn't affect them at all. Whereas it affects the people at the bottom some. And it's arguable as to how much it affects them, but it affects them more than the people who never make it, right? Just by definition. And so on that basis, like, yeah, it is harder for those people, but it's also more rewarding because you have to actually find the stuff, and it's not just a money game. It's not just rural farm simulator like it always has been in the past. And then there's like knock-on impacts of like the prices of those items on the flea afterwards, right? You're not going to get the big hose spike anymore because you can't, once the flea opens in 2 weeks' time, even if you need your hoses, you can't actually use
them to construct
them
the
from the flea.
stations, right?
Yeah, and then there's the second tier to that, which is like, but you need blue tape to craft the hoses in the lavatory. So blue tape's probably going to be really expensive.
True,
because you can use non-finding raid inputs to craft to make finding raid stuff using the hideout to do the hideout kind of laundering thing that we talked about before. So that's kind of my take on it. Like, I actually think it's good. Some people won't like it, but I think the majority of the people who won't like it and really, really dislike it are probably on PvE anyway. I think if they like don't have that time to play, then
that's a good point. Yeah,
there's like a non-white version of the game where you can go and do it, slower, like however you want. So there's a place for everybody in it. But I personally like it. I think it brings the game to be a lot more hardcore again. Like 2 weeks thing is insanely cool. And yeah, no, that's there. I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on it. Like, how have you found it so far? Like, how much of the hideout have you managed to get done?
I think I got the med station, the generator, the security level 1, and the workbench. Workbench was really important. I almost ate some bolts and nuts for the shooting range, and then I realized, whoa, I need that workbench. Like, it's honestly like, just as a quick tangent, it's just like the ability to use the modding screen is like so that, like, it's I gotta have it. Like, I felt I mean, it's cute and all. It's thematic, It's like, now I can use the modding screen because I have the workbench. I'm a gunsmith now. But at the same time, just give it to me innately at the start of the way, because it's so annoying. You know how many
workbench level 0 or whatever.
Yeah, because like what I'll do is I'll throw junk in side rigs, right, to like save space. But if it's like an attachment and I don't have the modding screen that I have to go in and manually find it and drag it all the way to the gun. It's like, oh, it won't equip to the gun. I gotta like take off the handguard and put the right thing. It's just so annoying. Anyways, that
Yeah.
aside, um, I found it really annoying in the sense that I'm so used to putting hideout items in my butt and like, oh wait, I
Mm.
need this to be found right. It doesn't matter if it's in my butt or not, you know? Which is just kind of like a funny, but I don't know. It's like I don't even think about it until this change happens. It's like, oh, this doesn't actually make any sense. So I should instead, keep the meds in my butt or what ammo or whatever, you know?
I like it, right? Because it like challenges your your automatic, um, your muscle memory.
Yeah.
Challenges your muscle memory on what to do, and that's what's interesting about the world. That's why I like it. Right? I like things to be different because it's like, oh, actually, we need to like change our like assumptions about what's good or what's not. I've got a flash drive, like
Mm-hmm.
bolts, metal parts, whatever, in my rig, and my butt is just full of salad.
Clip it. Clip it and ship it.
Out of context, that does sound pretty odd, but that's what's happening. That's how it goes.
Oh my god, that is so
That's how
funny.
it goes. That's how it goes.
On that note, why can't you eat the salad? I was like,
That's a good point.
What's what?
It's a barter item other. Maybe the salad has gone off. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so weird.
What's it even for? I'm so suspicious of the salad. So I'm sure everybody's probably seen it at this point, but basically there's like a couple of items that have appeared for this new set of events, and salad is one of them. The Olivier salad, but it's not for any, like, you can't eat it. It says you can't actually do anything with it. It says even during a military conflict, experienced warriors strive to celebrate the holiday. Olivier salad is the mainstay of the New Year's Eve table, and it's like an item that isn't a food item. It's in the same category as like stuff that you need for doing the event. And then it just inexplicably sells for 96,000 rubles to therapist. And I'm just super suspicious.
It is sus.
I'm super suspicious. Like I put it out on Twitter and people are just like, oh yeah, it's like great to be selling it. Even like Pestily replied to me, it was just like, hey, don't worry, you'll find loads of them. Like sell them, it'll be okay. And I'm like, well, it's easy for you to say. Like I found like 9 or something, which I'm like, that's like a decent amount. But like when the quest turns up and says like, oh, you need 10 of these babies to complete this stupid thing.
Come on. And then it's going to be at least 100.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I can't bring myself to sell it. I'm like sat on like nearly 1 million rubles worth of freaking salad. But I'm just like looking at it, just being like, where's the catch? This is like how I play Tarkov so often now. It's just like, where's the catch? 96k for like a box of salad. There's a trick here. Like it seems too obvious. Like, where's Nikita trying to like bend me over? Like, yeah, there's just there has to be something to that. There must be.
Yeah, I think it says a lot. It speaks volumes to the mental damage done, where we're like anticipating, some sadistic quest we have to do. It's like nothing can be good. It's like it can't just be worth this much. There has to be a catch. They're deceiving me somehow.
Definitely, that's so many people are saying that's like to a T, Tarkov's like toxic relationship. It's like, you get a text message and just like, what does this mean? Does this mean what it says? Do they mean something else? It's like the definition of like a toxic, awful relationship.
Oh my god.
Second guess you're being like gaslit by the game. My god.
All right.
Just like, yeah, no, here you go. Here's a salad for 96k. And you're like, okay, it's just like, yeah, sell it. Yeah, go on, sell it. Sell it. You want 100k rubles? Just sell it. It's fine. You can sell it.
I've sold a few.
I won't mind.
But I'm in your camp as well. I'm keeping a couple because I feel like there's gonna be something, and if not, maybe they'll be like, oh, we accidentally added an extra 0. We didn't mean to. We'll miss out. Whatever. But I just find that so weird. It's like, why is like it's the end of the world, and therapists, in like Russia is like, give me salad. She's like, vegan maniac or something. She'll just pay top dollar for canned or plastic, outdated probably salad.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird, but Yeah, I'm super suspect about it. But the thing is, like, it should keep its. I don't think it's just going to suddenly, like, the value on it shouldn't just suddenly disappear. I would have thought. So I'm hoping. I mean, it could, but
It
I'm taking the
could.
risk that it's going to stay nice and high, so that if
Mm-hmm.
when the event's over, I could just suddenly cash in, ka-ching, and just sell it all to therapist all in one go. We will see.
All right, so
Okay.
enough about salads. I could make
Yeah.
so
Enough
many
about salad.
jokes, but I'm gonna refrain. I'm gonna keep it PG here.
Yeah. So that was kind of the extension of Hideout being Fan and Raid, Flea Market being available at the end of
Yes.
2 weeks. So yeah, I mean, we're basically like we're trader specific, aren't we? So that's kind of why I want to do Ragbrand. I'm kind of working my way. I'm like really close to 2 quests where you get class 4. Because class 4 it's just the mainstay. Once you have it on tap from Ragbrand, it's like pretty easy. So I've got to do either database for the Thor. I think is it just a purchase or is it the barter? Because the barter is going to be problematic. Or audit, which is the financial records one on the street. So I might do that one. And then you get the 6B13 armor. I'm actually just going to triple check because I can't remember.
I was gonna say too. I forgot to even touch on the flea market changes because that is what like A convinced me to play and then B convinced my friend group to play. Like kind of like sworn off Tarkov. And yeah, I mean, I think it's like I don't know. It's so interesting because on one hand, I feel like you can make a legitimate argument to be like, it's weird because it used to be if you wanted to kill a Chad, way back in the day. I mean, not that long ago, but a sizable time ago, you would buy a hunter, you would buy M61 at the flea market, you would load it in your mag and all the rest in your butt, and that was your Chad killer. And so there was like a kind of an argument, it's like, oh well, that's the only way we can compete. It's like we got to have these Chad killers. But now we've like really have gotten a long way from that, where now it's like you really got to put in a lot of work to kind of get these things if you can't even get them. Like M61 was like, what, you got to be level 50 and do this quest to kill 10 or 20
Yeah,
other level 50s. Like, they've really
it was
gated
crazy.
off that a lot. And they've lowered the armor too a lot, like the accessibility. So, like, things have kind of like diminished in that regard. Like, it's not as like extreme of a range where it's like, oh, I have a tank helmet and you have a, class 6 titanium helmet, whatever bullshit they got. So the range has kind of shrunk a lot. But I feel like if you did like change the flea market, uh, you know, ban or whatever this you want to call this 2 week period, if you did put it out to like 3 months, it's like, well, then it's like, well, dang, it's like now I feel like that gap of time is so great that it's like the casuals would have a much harder time because then the people that like the Chads, so to speak, would get to the higher trader levels faster than the casuals, presumably,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't suffer as much from not having that flea market, for that time period. So I don't know. In some ways, I feel like this, whatever the reason is behind this, maybe it's just for fun, maybe it's like a test thing, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I do think there is some legitimacy to this idea where it's like, if this gap was a little too big, it actually might be kind of detrimental. But I will say, I just love the experience of playing around this because now it's like I don't feel like I have to hoard things for the sake of selling on the flea later,
Yeah.
and the joy of like assembling Exodia, which is just an MP5 with a cool handguard I found, and putting a VP9 or whatever the ergo grip on the bottom, and then getting one tapped by a scav. That is my joy in Tarkov, is assembling these picking these different parts together and kits, building a loadout. It's fun, and the barters
Yeah.
too. I like it. Like that's the fun part for me. The ruble game is kind of it's I understand its value. It's very like straightforward, but man, once you get into that space where it's like, I'm a scavenger. I'm putting. I love it.
Yeah. It's a bit roguelite in a sense. It's got that feeling, right? Of like, oh, you start with
Yeah.
a base gun, and then you
Yeah.
find this part and that part, and you slowly upgrade the thing, and then you die, and then you have to start again. It's got that feeling to it. Like I've just lost my mutant, which I've picked up on day one,
Oh.
and I didn't use it because I had like crap ammo. I was still using SP,
Mm-hmm.
but as I picked up like FMJ and then a bit of PS and then a bit of
Yes.
PP, I was like, actually, maybe I can do this. I had a couple of 30 rounders, so I was been using this mutant with like Tango down stubby on the front and an Elcan on the top. I've been
Mm.
using that. And I'm like, man, I feel like, feel good with this gun.
Yeah.
And I literally just lost that just now, which is a shame. But like, it happens and it stays with you for a while. And you're like, I actually feel like I've got power up here, but this is one only. I can't just go and, right click, copy, paste, preset, just create it, like go back in again, right? It's like, it's gone now. That's it until like level 4 traders or something. So I got to pick something else. So it's great. It is really, really fun to play in this way. I was actually a bit worried about it, but I think I was like, my mental heuristics revolve around me being like incredibly poor in the early wipe. And the reason for that is because I spent all my money on stuff from the Flea to upgrade the hideout. But
Yeah.
because I can't do that, my
Right.
money actually kind of hovers about where it is. It's just like, oh, I'll die and I'll spend 200k and then I'll survive like 2 or 3 raids and I'll make like 100 each time or 200. I mean, I save a lot of the items I've got. So like, my stash is like pretty full. But so I've got like loads of extra things just in case because I haven't fully done the, what exactly do I need? So I've got lots of things saved up. And like anytime I need some cash, I just sell some of the things that I have that are like the least
Yeah.
valuable.
I'd sold some salads. It hurt, but they're worth a lot. And that's another thing that
I'd
I
sell the salad.
really I'll never sell them. You can't have them,
Diamond hands.
therapist. Old.
Salad to the moon.
No, that's the thing that I really like. I mean, you see it all the time with like Landmark and these types of streamers where like their stash, the top rows is just rubles, and that's it. And it's like, why do I even have all this stash space? Like, and of course I don't want to sit here and play Tetris all day, but it is kind of nice to have these. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, I just like using the stuff that's there. Like, I don't want these things to be meaningless.
And it's nice to play the game and look at the stuff and be like, oh, okay, I can piece together something cool. Like in my stash, I've got M855A1 and some M855. So I've got 55A1 from one of the quests, one of the like Christmas quests. I'm like, okay, I can like use that sparingly to like spice up my mags. I've got like Magnum AP, like a couple of AP20s and some BMGs and some flechettes that I've just like pulled out of raid. I'm like, okay, I could actually like AP20 slug some people like pretty effectively at this point in the wipe if I do decide to use that. I've got like some BP for 9x39, so I'm like, that's gonna shred. But I've only got 24 of them, so that's gonna like shred somebody. And then in terms of guns and things, I've got an SVD that I found on the first day. I've got like a Scar H, but it's got nothing on it. So I'm like, okay, I kind of need to want to find a few parts before I start using that. There's like a TX15 that I got from another quest. So that's got Thunder Beasts and stuff. So it's like, I'm like looking at these things going, what do I want to use this time? Like I had an SR2M and then did a quest and got some boxes of BT for it. So I'm like, oh, this is actually quite a good gun now that it has BT. But before then it was kind of trash. So it's nice that you're looking through these things and you're not just going, well, that's cost this on the Flea, that cost this on the Flea, that cost this on the Flea. Like each item, especially before level 2 traders, each item feels like a unique item with value of it in its own right, rather than just being, I can replicate this through the trader system or I can replicate this through the Flea system. Because right now, most of these things, I can't buy any of them. Like I can't buy, like you can't buy Tony Slugs anyway. I can't buy 855, can't buy 55A1, I can't buy the Scar H, I can't buy SR2Ms, I don't think even. No, I can't even buy SR2Ms, can't buy SVD, I can't buy Thunder Beasts, like I can't. I don't even know if can I buy AK1. No, I can't even buy AK103. Like, I can't buy anything, right? So like all of this stuff has like intrinsic value for what it is, and the specific combination of the other things I have, like the ammo that goes with it, the mods that go with it, right? All of those things come together to the full package, and it's great to play that way. It's like very interesting. It's probably quite overwhelming for newer players, but
Definitely.
It's very interesting for older players for sure.
And I feel like there could be, I think there's definitely room for improvement on that end, but I don't know if that BSG had this type of vision or what even, you know what I mean? It's just like, this is just what we have in this current time. Maybe the next game, Tarkov 2, will do things more better. Because it is hard to be like, oh snap, what is Urska lunchbox? What can I do with that? Link search. I mean, it's not exactly the most. And then you gotta make sure the barter thing's not ticked. Like it's tough. I get it, but God dang, do I love it! Like I was actually last night. I was debating about using my 54 stacks of T40 5 for the 765 right now. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna save it for a more kitted gun because it was just like a crappy Vepr with 20 round
Yeah.
mags. It's like, but I like this stuff. It's fun to think like this. Like I got some PS12 here, M80A1, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, segue
Spicy.
transition. Hold up.
We can do. We can talk about the new ammo. That's sure.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, basically the only thing that's changed ammo wise is 7.62 NATO. That was like the main part of my vid, but it's interesting to see that get a bit of a. I mean, it's been buffed, I would say overall. Like M80 going from 41 pen to 43 pen, but then M62 is down from 44 to 42. So M62 and M80 are basically the same. Like they're almost identical, but they haven't adjusted the barters for them yet. And then you've got. It's weird now. You've got M61 next with like 55 pen.
You said they haven't
and
adjusted
then
the barters.
They haven't adjusted all the crafts for. Sorry, I mean the craft. They haven't adjusted the craft, I don't think, for M62 yet. So it's still behind trophies because M62 took the craft over from M61.
Right.
M61 went finding raid only, but I don't think they've adjusted it yet. I actually haven't had that confirmed, but it's still behind. Well, it's not. Actually, hold on. Let me just make sure that I'm actually right about this. 2 by 51. I just want to find out. Yes, yeah, it isn't here. It isn't here. Yeah, so it's not on the market. So I think it's behind. I think it's still like. It should still just be the same craft as it was before. I think. But that means that it's kind of unusable, I would say. But a lot of this stuff, you're kind of stuck at M80. But M80's, it's a little bit better now. I think it's probably okay because 7.62 NATO really fell out of fashion.
Yeah, big time.
Last wipe. You just couldn't really get access to anything higher than M80 except the finding raid stuff. So it's just like makes it not consistently usable.
It wasn't
so
M80
it's a
like
bit better.
class 4 or level 4 peacekeeper, or was it level 3?
I actually can't remember. But it's still locked behind reconnaissance or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is it Peacekeeper? I think it is Peacekeeper 4 actually.
It's one or the
So
other.
it's like really, really
either
high
way,
up.
it's either way. It's high up, and I mean, mind you, back in the day, it used to be like level 1 trader peacekeeper, or was it level 2? I think it was level 2 actually.
One point it was level 2, yeah. Then when it was like became the mainstay.
Yeah.
Skier 2 RFB and Peacekeeper 2
Oh
M80, and it was just devastating.
Hit the Flea,
But
grab a scope. Yeah.
But BCP FMJ is a bit better now. That's at Jaeger 3. So that used to not be very good.
Oh, well.
but now I think it probably just ekes into like actually being okay because it went from 35 pen to 37 pen. So it's same pen as like M85. No, it's the same pen as BT. M85 601 is like 38 now. But yeah, it's like 83 damage. Like it's actually all right, and it has a 50% chance of going through class 4. So it's a bit better than it was. Still not like amazing. You still want M80 really, but
yeah. But I like that they're taking these. It feels like they added. Did you already mention M80A1?
No. So not no. So I said M62. So weirdly, so it goes M6. So it goes M62 now.
Right.
In terms of pen with 42 pen, then it goes M80 with 43 pen. Then it goes M61 with 55 pen. Then it goes M80A1, which is the new bullet, with 60 pen and 73 damage. And then it goes M993, which has also come down in pen a little bit to 65 from 70, but that was like stupid.
Yeah.
But like all of those things are fine in raid only, so I don't really know how much impact that actually has. There's another bullet in the loot pool, I suppose. You're more likely to find 7.62 by 51 than you were before, I think.
But for me,
they've added this like new round.
What I like about it is that the new round may have not been necessary, but whatever the case may be, they've sort of like compacted the gaps between the different ones because it was basically like M80 good, anything below M80 bad. I mean, it was like, your TC, yeah, it just felt like it's like using HP for 7.62 by 39. Like it's pretty bad early wipe. It's like why am I not just using the 9 millimeter? Like it's very. I always
Mm.
found that when they first did that change, because I don't remember if SP was around or not. But anyways, there was some point where it just felt like it just didn't make any. It's like I'm shooting an assault rifle, but it's like firing peas. Like I just might as well use a pea shooter that shoots a lot faster. So I like that they're
Yeah.
kind of like I saw in your video. They like increased the armor damage, like not maybe the pin a little bit, and they adjusted the damage values a bit, but giving it more armor damage so that way it does feel like it's a bit more of a punchier caliber than something like 9 millimeter, which if they're wearing good armor, I'm fine with 9 millimeter, doing less armor damage versus me using a bigger bullet doing something to their armor. So I like that they've kind of looked at this and did some adjustments because I've always kind of felt ever since I don't know the decline of the player base favoring 7.62 by 51. Um, it's just always for me. It's been in a spot where it's like I just feel like I don't want to use any of these guns till really late in the wipe when I can actually
Yeah.
put good ammo in them.
Yeah, and get the recoil down. I think that's the thing. Like,
That's true as well. Yeah,
yeah, if the ammo is not that great and the recoil also kind of sucks, you're
for
just like, I'd
sure.
rather just use something that's more mediocre, but it does fire at 800 RPM and I can actually hit the target properly.
Yeah.
So, no, it's interesting. It is interesting. So yeah, you can get TCW on Skier 2,
Okay.
and that one is 30 pen. I don't know
Yeah.
what guns you'd put it in, but yeah, so that's 30 pen, which is actually okay. And 85 damage. And then BCP now, yeah, as we said, is like 37 pen now, so it's quite a bit better. And that's on Jaeger 3 for 83 damage. And then M80 and M62 are like 42 and 43. So like it's a bit more
It's an
usable, I would
improvement than what it
say.
was before for sure, and you can get these on scavs, so it's not
Mm.
you know, it's not exotic, but maybe it needs a little bit more love. I can definitely, if I was in charge of balancing this, I would be kind of weary of buffing it too much because it was pretty egregious back in the day. It was just like it's. I mean, I remember one wipe. I just like as soon as I got Flea, I just bought. That's all I did is bought SR-25s and like because you don't even have to. I think when they come in stock, you can just they have the rails on them if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm thinking the
Yes,
TX.
ours.
Yeah. Anyways, or maybe it was like you could buy the rails off the traders. Anyways, they were just like super easy to mod, right? Because you can
Mm.
just swap out the buttstock and etc. And you just slap on a scope on top. You don't have to like with the FOW, for example, you gotta like mess about with getting a different receiver, upper receiver, so you can put an actual proper scope on it. But yeah. So I wouldn't want it to be so crazy where it's just like, oh my god, it's like the only thing that's used. So, and maybe one more wipe, it'll get a little bit more competitive. I think we'll see how it pans out, of course, this wipe. But I like
Exactly.
this. I like this.
Can you see yourself using the TSS armor piercing TOS slug?
Yes,
30 pen. 30 pen.
I sure can. Is it
It's it's
12
it's T
by
it's 20/70.
20 70? See if oh, that's 79. Can it come like
Yeah.
this? No.
You need it's a forward slash,
Oh, not an X, of course.
not an X, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely can see me. So that yeah, as you were just about to explain, they added what 2 or 3 new TOS
Three.
rounds.
Three TOS rounds. And they only fit in the TOS. It's the only caliber, it's the only weapon in the 20/70. But yeah, TSS armor piercing is probably the best one. 155 damage, 30 pen. It's a bit like TOS's version of AP20 slugs, but not as good because it won't go through class 4 armor, which is kind of
Plus,
bad. So I guess it's a bit more like BMG slugs, I suppose.
yeah, you might be
Probably
right.
the equivalent. BMG slugs are 197 damage, but only 26 pen. So it's actually like in between.
What's the muzzle velocity on the BMG? I'm curious.
BMG is 410.
Okay, this one's
What is it?
480 on the
Okay.
TSS, the new one, which is I think that's in between
Yeah,
the AP20.
AP20s are 510.
Yeah. Okay. This is kind of like a halfway house.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of
new
okay.
setup contender. Well, I guess you can't do it with this.
Yeah, you can't do it with that one, can you? Which is a shame.
It is a shame.
Then there's a pointless one, which is the middle one, the 1270 Dangerous Game Slug,
Mm.
which is 143 and damage and 25 pen.
I mean, 25 pen
So
isn't. I mean, this thing. I will definitely rage and smash my keyboard if a scav kills me with this. So it's not. I got
Mhm.
my pack of armor. He thoraxes me. This is rage worthy.
And then they added Babby 2070 Flechette as well,
Mm.
which is 20 damage a pellet, or a dart, I should say. So it's only 160. The other one is 25, the regular Flechette. So that's 200 for 12 gauge, whereas 20 gauge, so it only hits for 160. And it has a pen of 24, which, like, I don't know, because Flechette's weird, right? Flechette's always been weird.
Hmm.
Normal Flechette only has a pen of 31. So don't underestimate it, is what I would say. Like a
Yeah.
24 pen in Flechette, it's a lot more than you would think. Because it's like 24 pen 8 times. Like you could probably kill somebody. I want to like. I mean that probably would kill someone in class with a class 3 vest on in one shot. I would think a 24 pen like salvo if you hit all 8, which is unlikely, but if you did, I don't know.
Did
I
you
don't think
know?
this is going to make the TOS meta though.
Well, did you
Me
know
or
there's a
meta?
there's a yeah, exactly. Did you know there's a cheek rest for the TAWs you can put on the rear stock that gives you +5 ergo? Stonks, Giga.
How light is the TOS? I forget.
With this
I
current
don't think it's even that light, is
configuration,
it? It's just like a block of wood.
yeah. How can I see? Oh, I need to look at
Oh,
the.
actually, it's 2.7 kilograms out the gate.
Hold on.
That's not too bad.
Are we cooking?
Like,
What's
no, we're not. We
what's
really
it?
aren't.
What's weird too is there's different. Like you can put on a Mosin stock.
Yeah, that's the lightest one, I think, the most in style. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's the one that's the. Which
That's
one's
more
that one?
wooden. So there's a
Yeah.
TMS. I don't even know what this is. It's like TMS 20-01 stock. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's
It's just
the
another
like
wooden stock.
hunting one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the lightest one.
But Giga, I mean, you get the Mosin stock for it. You put on the Mosin rear rubber butt pad to get that
Oh, that's true.
insane
You can do that actually.
2% recoil
Mm.
reduction +6 ergo.
Actually, that is good. And then it's only like 3 kilograms,
Yeah.
and you can put the thermal on it.
I don't know. I feel like I like these guns that are just like dirt cheap. Like this is like what 8K. Like you buy a stock one from the trader. I think it's Jaeger. It's like 8,000 rubles, right? And you get what you're paid for. But now they have like a little bit of more threatening stuff you could load in it. So if you find some, maybe you find some in raid in the ammo box. I feel like
Mm.
that's fairly reasonable after 10 or so loot tries. But you find some, you take it out, and now you got something a little mini Chad Slayer. You go in factory, you got your slugs in there, your big game slugs, gonna take out a big old fat rat.
It looks like they're all Fannie Made only, these things. I don't think you can even get the baby flechette, which is weird to me.
They
It
should
should be sold on your
totally
like Jaeger 3 or 2 or something.
they should
Maybe put it on Jaeger
totally do
2.
like a level 1 craft for one of
Mm.
these.
Yeah, put it in the workbench.
That would be fun. Maybe not
Put
the
baby flechette in there.
yeah, well, yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? I'd be down for that because it's
It's
bolt action.
bolt
Yeah, I'd be
action.
down for that. 100%. I'd be down for that.
Like give the bolt action people some love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I went
my
in with
god,
a
Tarkov
TOS to try and
shooter.
like
Oh wait, no, this is a shotgun. Damn it.
yeah.
I was gonna say new way to do
What is
Tarkov
what's the
shooter.
wording? Pull the contracts. What does the wording specifically say? That Tarkov shooter.
Nikita,
Using a
actually
bolt-action rifle. Yeah.
This is a bolt, so therefore
Therefore, it should work. We need to be able to toss our enemies. Yeah, I went into raid with one on Scav just to like get it out and hand it into Skier, and someone was just like, "Hey, all that hunt practice is going to come in really handy." She's like single load shotguns and stuff in like Hunt Showdown.
What did you? Just as a quick aside, what did you think of Hunt?
I thought it was really good.
Did you?
Genuinely thought it was really good. I've been playing off stream with my friends.
Cool.
It felt to me like a combination of Tarkov and PUBG in a way that was like not annoying. It was like it's like very casual to play.
So more PUBG than Tarkov.
It's well, kind of. It did actually feel more battle royale than extraction shootery because of the way that the hot zones work. So you're not forced in by a circle, but the thing you have to do is go and like hunt down the boss monster.
Right.
Thingy. So like that is like it's the point of interest. It's the reason you're there. It's how you get resources. It's like it's everything. So there is no circle, but everybody's closing in on this thing because you slowly like I don't know if have you played it? Have you played it? Yeah. So so you're picking up clues and it then grays out parts of the map that the boss isn't in, and it slowly hones in on where the boss is. So everybody kind of converges on the boss.
Okay, I can see
big,
the PUBG
like,
analogy.
PvP, the big PvP cluster, and then rather than it being like, oh, you're the last one in the circle, you win. It's like now you have to kind of like take the thing out. But it's got the extraction angle of you can like sneak in, kill the boss, and then like whip out as soon as possible. But it's got all those mechanics in it where it's like if you pick up the loot, everyone now can see you on the map, kind of thing, or like not precisely,
right.
But actually, that was one thing I really liked about it. You pick up the loot, everybody can see your like rough location on the map and like in the special like vision mode thing. But then you, as the player, also get like a limited time like wall hack to see other people as they're trailing you. So it actually kind of goes both ways. So it's like they can see you, but you can also see them. But like theirs is infinite. You're always just on the map. Whereas like you still have the ability to like make sure no one's extract camping you or whatever. But like there's so much less like prep time involved. Like basically I've got like friends who will never play PvP Tarkov. We're playing Hunt and like actually enjoying it. It's almost a shame the wipes come now because like I'm like not playing at all at the minute with anybody. I'm just like streaming and making videos. So once I'm done with that, we'll probably get back to it. But like it's good. It's like it feels like you can just jump on, play a couple, and then carry on because it's skill based matchmaking as well. So you're like matched within your like MMRs. You've got like an MMR in there. So for a lot of games like Tarkov, I just think that would be kind of icky. But for Hunt, it's great because you just like jump in, you match with people at your skill level, and that's just the way it is. So it's quite nice to have like something different. And it's good because the problem with PUBG, right? Like last time we tried to play PUBG, like went in, looted for 20 minutes, and then just got shot in the head instantly on the very first encounter, and it's just like, well, that's just kind of lame.
Yeah.
Whereas like that first section of the game in Hunt isn't about picking up stuff because you go in with a loadout like in Tarkov. Like this is the thing, it's kind of like a bit of everything. So it's nice. Like you unlock stuff as you go through the levels in Hunt, and then you make your loadouts better, and you choose like there's lots of other stuff outside of just shooting. It's like, how are you going to kill the mobs and be silent and also have enough consumable items to like, you got smoke bombs to like flush people out of areas, like fire things. There's like resin mechanics, and you can like burn people, and there's like the whole like team interplay. It's like it's very cool. And because of the low TTK and the way that the guns work, I actually felt that like playing solo was actually viable. It's like one of the first other games I played where I'm like, it's certainly harder, but partly because there's skill-based matchmaking, you're playing against teams of 3. Like you get put into a lower, like your MMR is adjusted if you play on your own. So you get put into a lower ranked lobby when you're on your own.
That's a nice feature.
So,
I like that.
So it's hard, but like the people are not as good. So it kind of balances out. It's certainly interesting. I'm definitely going to play more of it. Like it was fun. I really enjoyed it actually.
Well, good. I'm really pleased to hear that.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we at? Let's just like have a whiz through the patch notes again. Just carry on deciding what we were doing.
Yeah. So
customs. We went past like the Khorovod winter bit.
Right.
Snow is here. I don't really know the full ramifications of that yet. I need to do some testing on sound and stuff. Like audio is. I guess we could talk about audio. Like the audio engine is
different.
Mixed
is what I would use.
It feels to me like a layer just applied over the old audio.
So wait, I actually have one important question I have to ask. Do you feel like it's quieter than it was previously?
No, not since last wipe, but last wipe was much quieter than the wipe before it.
Oh, okay. I'm just behind a
So
wipe then.
maybe, yeah, because I've had some
Okay.
people come into chat as well being like, is it really quiet for me or whatever? And I'm like, not this wipe sounds the same as last wipe to me. But
Okay.
I had to change I literally had to take my audio from like 30% to 100 last wipe. Like I played Tarkov at
Yeah.
max volume again now, which I didn't do for years and years and years and years
I'm trying to
to make
remember.
it sound the same. I think I am anyway. I think I've got
Yeah.
it at, yeah, I've got it at max, yeah.
Yeah, because well, see, I was a bit skeptical because I was like, do I need to like adjust my sliders to like
Mm.
update the game because it like got confused. I was on low volume, and I did that, and I felt like it changed, but I need to spend more time with it and see because
Yeah.
obviously you got a new ambient soundtrack for the winter season, and
Yes.
which is like playing into it a lot, and I haven't played in like a wipe and a half. So yeah, I mean, I had to ask and see what your response was because I don't really have anyone else to base it off of. You know what their experiences are. My friends groups haven't played in some
Yeah.
time, so
Yeah, I do think it's quieter than it used to be. And I think because they've updated Arena as well.
mm-hmm.
I had Arena on the old like slow sound, and then this swipe I've had to change the Arena audio to be
Okay.
louder again.
Hmm.
Like I usually run Arena actually a bit quieter because there's just so much more shooting.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense.
but I had to turn it up a bit because I was like, I can't hear anybody with it. I was like, is it these terrible headsets? Because you don't have access
That
to all
was
the
the other
headsets.
thing I was wondering about. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've actually so this is kind of crazy, right? I've been experimenting in my brain. I'm like, all right, so audio is much more quieter in general. Like we've had some hilarious experiences. We were on Ground Zero, of course, doing our taskies, but we were in
Mm.
like the bank, right? And there was like 8 scav bodies there. Like we had walked there, killed a scav of some sort. I don't know if it was a player scav. I don't know what it was, but it was a creature and it died. And so we were looting all the bodies, and one of my friends had to go AFK. Like his wife needed something, and so he went AFK. And as we're looting, the scavs, suddenly the door busts open and Wadan Suka and the scavs start shooting. And we were like jump scared, like, what's going on? Oh my God. And it was actually kind of a fun experience, like traumatizing, yes. I'm going to need to see a therapist. But it was a fun experience because normally I would have heard that scav walking up to the door, like, you know, 5 meters away or whatever, but he was just like dead silent until he was like right at the door and kicked it open, it was a fun experience, and then I've definitely encountered that where it's like scavs like sneak up on you. I feel like that happens way more
Mm.
often than normal, but I don't know. But because of this in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, headsets have been like devalued. Colepack gaming has been increased in value because you can't hear anything to begin with. So I'm just gonna wear the Colepack. I've been
Oh,
trying the Riot helmet so far. Neither have saved my life, but we're testing. It takes time for these things to occur.
maybe you need the cabbage, the Sphera, like the
Yeah,
ball, which is just
yeah, the ball.
you got to move
Yeah.
up. I actually have two of those Ronin ones. I think, yeah, the
Oh
Ronin helmets, which are
yeah,
class 3 all over. So
dude.
maybe I should start using those a bit.
I would, yeah, give those a shot because I've tried to use them in the past and it was just like not worth it. Like this because there's this weird window in the wipe where it's like the getting their value to like hit their value, like their maximum value point is really hard because there was like this trade on the ragman, but it was like a higher barter trade. It was, and it's just really expensive, and on the Flea it was expensive.
Mm.
But if you got some, I mean, class
Yeah,
three
that's why it
everywhere.
was kind of the sweet spot because they changed the price of the Ronin
Oh,
last
did
wipe, I think,
they?
and they made it a lot cheaper. So now
Oh,
it's only 34k on Ragman. So
that's
last
pretty
wipe
good.
you could buy them pretty cheaply on the Flea, but yeah, like obviously this wipe you can't buy them. I found two in boxes, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll get a factory with that because if people are using PSO, then it's just going to doink straight off,
Yeah.
which would be quite nice. But yeah, maybe I'll try that next time when we go and do like tool sets, that kind of thing. It's the other one, because that's the beastly one. That's the level 4 one.
That was
I
last
haven't
wipe,
found
yeah.
those. Yeah, they added that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I've got
Yes.
two of those bad boys. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
class
because
3.
this looks pretty good. I mean, it's class
You
3
can't hear anything.
literally everywhere. Yeah, I mean, you're pretty isolated, but the
Yeah.
penalties aren't that bad. Yeah, I'm kind of
The
jealous because
problem
I
I
would
have
totally
now
like to use this. And you look like a
is
badass.
you do. I can't buy any of the headsets.
Hmm?
So it makes the headset testing a bit tricky.
Why can't you buy any headsets?
Because the Flea's
Oh,
not open. So I
oh,
can't
you
test the good
can,
ones.
but just not all the headsets. I see.
Yeah. But like, and this is another reason why I'm just like, man, I wish I had like a max level PvE. You know?
Yeah, that would be nice for things like this. Yeah,
Yeah. So I can go and test stuff properly. Maybe I'll have to join up with somebody and like
in due time,
get just throw them on the floor. Yeah. I don't know.
you'll get
But like, yeah,
there.
it's weird. Like the sound is super strange. Like sometimes you just don't hear anybody for ages. And then they're like
Yeah.
suddenly there. Like I was on Ground Zero doing the Utah's machine gun and the grenade launcher one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was up, there's the set of stairs with the barbed wire at the top, which is for the machine gun, I think. So again, I
Yes.
think that's above the bank.
Yes.
And I got like surprised by somebody. The first that I heard of them was like them on the barbed wire. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's crazy. And people really do like sneak up on you. But like last wipe, they changed the occlusion so that if a door is shut and
Right.
someone's walking on the other side, like you really don't hear them. But if the door's open, you hear them like a lot more. So that was the same as last wipe. But now we've got like this reverberation thing over the top. Sometimes it freaks out completely. Like if you're like in a container and then somebody throws a grenade in there or something, it's just like really weird, like flanging kind of effect sounds, and it's like it's strange. Sometimes the reverberation is just like way too much, but sometimes it sounds amazing. Like firing the
Yeah.
VSK in like a shop on interchange sounds like awesome.
I have experienced
Good
that.
job of wearing like active headset because like you'd blow your eardrums out, I think, in real life if you tried. To be fair, that thing's suppressed, so it's not too bad, but it just sounds like so meaty, like really good. So
Yeah.
I actually like the sound, but I need to understand the parameters around like what is the hearing distance now. I don't know. Some people are saying they're having better luck like not wearing a headset, so it changes every time. I just don't even know, right? And then, but it's just too much
No.
hearsay. It just needs to be tested, and the only way to do that is to go into it. It's one of those ones where like probably the most value is me just to go into offline co-op, with my other PC, and then just run around on the other PC. That's the one that's like the easiest way to like figure it out. So I wear my headset, but I control the other character, and so I can hear what my character sounds like in any different situation, upstairs, downstairs, behind, in a container, in a bush, jumping, how far away, like all of that stuff. And like that's usually like the basis of the testing that I do. I usually do that first because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I find out like amazing things. And I'm just like, whoa, this is crazy. And it's not even like formalized testing. I'm not like measuring anything. I'm just like running around and just seeing how it hears. And I'm like, oh, I'm surprised I can't hear that here. Oh, I am surprised I can hear that here. Oh, this sound effect is like really weird from this angle, like that kind of stuff. And then you like figure out odd things like, yeah, it's like when someone shoots away from you, you get the bullet crack bug, like that kind of thing. It's like, oh, you're on the same line. Like you're the other wrong direction,
On that
all that kind of stuff.
note, I did have a
Mm.
very odd instance where it felt like I was experiencing that bug where like I'm getting the crack, like I'm on the line, but they're like shooting, what you just said basically.
Yeah.
But this time, because of the reverb, it like tripled. It's like they layered over
Mm.
each other, and it was like a really loud gunshot followed by smaller gunshots. So there is some oddities, and I mean, to be expected. I feel like, I mean, that's like par for the course. But the reverb, when, as someone said, like when it works, like it sounds really good. And when everything hits, I was pretty like, oh, that's like I could subtly hear the reverb inside the factory building or wherever I was shooting at the sky. I
Yeah.
was like, that was a nice little touch, and I think it'd be interesting to see this further develop and if they can get it like the kinks ironed out, and so I think that would be cool to have at least to experience a very immersive sound stage where there's like a tiny little slit in the window or just the window in general, like you can hear sounds outside from the window more than
Mm.
like a concrete slab of wall. Like that makes sense to me. Might be a little weird getting used to it because like a lot of us are trained on like very gamey audio where it's like, oh, I can just hear them through the
Yeah.
wall and it's 3D, but we'll see. The one thing I was curious about is this line here. I'm just going to read: implement the dynamic variation of movement sounds hearing radius depending on the movement speed and type. What the heck does that mean?
I mean, it's hard to know, but the way I read it is they've kind of changed the distance at which you hear stuff more so. But I mean, it was already like that before, but I feel like maybe they've got like more parameters on walking, crouching, whatever. It's not just all part of the same system. I mean, on the same line, it
Okay.
says, improve the attenuation curves and sound filtering based on vertical positioning as well. So it's like they're kind of adjusting everything. So, distance closer is, quite a bit louder than further away. They're just like tweaking like the drop off for distance and things like that. So, I mean, it'd be quite nice. Like, it doesn't even need to be like a flat. It doesn't just need to be volume, right? Like, audio processing is quite complicated. So you can have even things like, if somebody's further away, then it like changes even just like the range of like frequencies that get to you,
Right.
stuff like that. So it could be like more bassy or whatever if it's like further out. I don't know. Like, what's interesting about games and stuff is that like the audio doesn't necessarily have to be like perfectly realistic. We've
Mm-hmm.
talked about this before with like verticality. Sometimes it can just be like different.
Yeah.
Like, if this would be like a bad thing it probably wouldn't sound realistic at all. But like, if someone was above you, make it more tinny, and if someone was below you, make it more bassy. But that wouldn't be realistic. But like, you'd learn over
Eventually
time
you'll
what
learn,
meant.
right.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily intuitive, but like you can understand it eventually. So like
Mm-hmm.
that kind of principle can be used to do like more complicated stuff that people actually do understand like where they are vertically or not. I mean, I think the vertical audio is absolutely awful in the current implementation. I literally could not tell where the people were. I mean, I was in some of the new customs buildings
Mm.
and I had no clue. I was like, they could be below,
Yeah.
above, same level. I just have no idea. But again, maybe it's just like we need to get used to it. I haven't experienced it enough yet to know. I
Well,
don't know. I'm not sure.
the only thing I would say about that is you're kind of like working against the odds here because you are in a new layout. Like, you don't know the layout, so you actually haven't been
Yeah.
trained on the. You have zero. Like, all your previous knowledge is irrelevant because this is a new. If it was something like dorms, then like you could kind of compare from previous experiences to current. But now that it's just like a new area, you don't even know because some things are just like super subtle. Like, if you're in dorms and you hear like tiles, it's like, oh, I know he's in one of the rooms that has tiles. Which rooms have tiles? Well, definitely not the bedrooms. It's like process limitation. So, if you're hearing like metal, it's like, oh, he's like on a metal
Yeah.
grate maybe. But if you don't know the layout, that makes it much more harder. So,
Yeah. The two
but I
things do go
haven't
hand in
really
hand.
had a lot of experience with vertical audio, so I can't even really say like, I haven't been to factory, for example. I've been to dorms,
Mm.
but I haven't like encountered anyone in dorms. Um, I've had some fights in the new customs areas, but not like vertically challenged fights. More like horizontally. Um, on that note,
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say the one I'm referring to in particular is the one where you have to go and do. There's like the special Christmas quest where you have to go
mm,
plant the cameras and kill the scavs in that new building, and that's like it is very vertical, that building, and it was in there that I was struggling. So that was the main reference point. So it's not everywhere that it's bad. What were you gonna say?
the new customs area. I mean,
Mm.
sounds like you've been there from your experiences, surely.
So there's two main bits as far as I'm concerned. There's the one next to Elbow, like the construction building next to Elbow, um, like the skeleton, like construction-y building. Basically, the one that connects to machine shop, the factory shop. The shortcut through to Fortress from like RUAF, for example. You've got that
Yes.
where the cultists spawn. You've got that machine shop building. It's the one connected to that.
Yes.
Because you can now get underneath Sniper Scav. Like, there's 3 levels,
Yes.
whatever. I actually killed somebody out of that building because that building is goated. Honestly, it's actually amazing. If you get up to the top floor, you can see everything. You can see into Crack House. You can see like the skeleton building. You can see like all the way across to the other skeleton one that overlooks Fortress. You can see tons of stuff. It's crazy because it's like right in the middle of the map, and you can
Yeah.
look out of the top floor like almost in any direction. And I killed somebody kind of towards like the pocket watch truck, but like not exactly there, like further towards the wall. But you could see tons of stuff out there. And then there's the other one, which is the quest one I was just talking about, which is a bit more hemmed in. It's the one near Fortress. But like the most important thing about that is that you can now go from new gas station, like the rail line. You can go along the rail line now. So you know, there's the like new gas station and the bridge that you enter new gas from along the main road. You know, we're in new gas station.
Yes.
Out the front.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You've
yeah,
got the
yeah.
you've got the
I
rail
know you're
line,
talking
right?
about. Yeah.
And the bridge where it's over. Yeah.
Yes.
Now you can just keep going down the rail line.
Yes.
Like that was always really super blocked off. So you can now go along the rail line and you can go either direction as well. So you can either go into the building with the power switch, or you can go into the new building, which is with the Christmas quest thing, which kind of connects to the courtyard around Fortress. So it's like much more open around there now.
Yes.
Which is interesting. And it's just a lot more fluid for like moving around that bit of the map, which I actually quite like that.
Yes.
In many ways, it's like more places to be. There's more ways to path through without just feeling like you're just kind of stuck.
That was my general impression. I mean, definitely want to play the map a lot more, but it felt like basically every building in the middle, you know, in between like what we would previously call the new area, like Stronghold and, you know, Crack House, all of that, and the old areas, every building in between is like a visitable. You know, you can like go inside them and navigate through them, and it makes the map, like, for me, I feel like it's taken it from like kind of like Chokehold City or like Choke Point City to like you could just go anywhere now, which is like kind of it, like it really changes how it plays, because I was, as you said, and other people in chat, the building that you referred to at the beginning by RUAF, you know, feels like a very strong position, because you can basically have 360 view, and like previously, if you wanted to like shoot back towards red building, big red, and like the bridge and all that stuff, you didn't have a lot of like good options. Like you could be on top of construction, but like that always felt
really
kind of
obvious.
yeah. And then you could like, there's like some barricades and sandbags down lower you could be on top, but being like inside of a closed building that's a little like shaded and dark, and you got these windows and stuff, like and from the other side perspective, if you're like navigating towards, you know, this area, now you have to like think about that as like a threat, which is like a new concept, and it makes it very like challenging to navigate, I find. And I mean, I haven't had anyone kill me there from yet, but I've definitely shot from there many a times, and yeah, it's just like it's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, because previously it almost felt like Customs was quite balanced, because the positions of height have the downside in that they're really exposed. Whereas these two buildings almost feel a bit OP. Like I don't know,
I do kind of feel
it's like
that,
you can't be seen, you can see everything. Like I don't know. It feels like you might have to just sort of avoid it, or like go really, really close. If you're close and hugging the wall, then people like they can't see you out of there. So that might be okay, but I mean, hopefully people can't like lean out. I mean, there probably are places where you can do it as well. So, but it's just more dangerous. Customs is a bit of a meat grinder. It's like partly while I was struggling with delivery from the past, just like trying to do it. Like I feel like everywhere on Customs is a hotspot at the moment. It's tricky, because you've got the Christmas market thing, which is over by Smuggler's Boat on the road outside like the Smuggler Boat Extract. So it's like, well, which way do you want to do? Do you want to go past Crack House? Do you want to go past like Pocket Watch Quest? Do you want to go through dorms? Or do you want to go, and then like after that, you've then got to get through like the Christmas market with like a bunch of stuff and scavs defending it. It's just a nightmare. Like I've had quite a few customs raids where I'm just like stuck on the other side of the river. Like I need to get to Big Red, and I'm just stuck. I can't get over. Like I've had to like flank like 3 different times. There's not really any good way to get over to Big Red. I've like tried to go over the junk bridge, but then somebody appeared. I've tried to go over the middle section, but like there's literally no cover down there. It's like, how do I get over? Like it's just I've spent like 30 minutes just like trying to go back and forth, and this is why people end up just going out of RUAF. But yeah, that's why I'm so glad I've got that one done, because I think I only have to go back like once for customs graphics cards or whatever for mechanic or something like that. But yeah, it's just like getting to Big Red when you're not on that side of the map, just like actually really annoying, because people just stay there for ages. But there was like World War III going on in half the raids, like over a bit, and I'm just like, oh, like I'm like trying to like sneak through, and as soon as I came through, some people started moving around the bridge. I'm just like, oh my god, like this is just impossible. Yeah, but you see where you are now. So for those of you who are listening on audio later, like Church is looking out towards Krakow's, I think, right? And I think you can see
I think
Krakow's
I'm in
from
the
further
wrong
along.
building.
Can you see Krakow's from here? I think you might be able to.
Oh, I can kind
There you go.
of.
So you can see the
Yeah,
door.
I can see the
Yeah, you can like
door.
stand up on the walkway as well. You can get a little bit more height,
Oh,
and you can see the
yeah.
door from Krakow's right there. If you turn to your left, then and you go right to the end, and a little bit further left, there's like a big window. Again, you can go up and get a bit more height. So you can see Fortress through there.
Oh,
You can
yes,
see
yes,
Fortress
yes.
through here and the whole of the like raised platform and like the
Yeah.
bridge over to wherever. Like that is like super, super spot. Out the front here, you can see the pocket watch. You can see you see that skeleton building. Like it's kind of nuts. It's quite good.
All
And you're
right.
hidden behind like panes of glass, which are like translucent. Like they're not fully transparent. They're kind of dark.
Yeah.
You can
I
stand back from
mean,
it. People aren't like looking up. It's hard for them to see you if you're not moving around.
maybe if you shoot these lights out, you could be even more secluded, assuming you
Yeah,
can.
I've only played it in the day. So in the
Yeah. Oh,
daytime,
that's a
it's
good
just like you just
point.
can't be seen.
Yeah, because right now it's like sunrise,
Yeah.
so it is illuminated. But yeah, guys, come do your pocket watch quest. It's perfectly safe. I'm just gonna grab my my Taz big game hunter.
A very dangerous game slug waiting for you.
Oh my god, I love it. But yeah,
Yeah.
this area, I mean, all these areas are just like, and I gotta give props to where props is due. Like the mapping team, like I feel like they've grown a lot. Especially like from like the very beginnings. And yeah, I mean they all we say it a lot here. They always knock it out, but like they've grown so much, and I give them a lot of flack for putting 250 empty cigarette cartons on the floor, but this does look really good. Like this is like the culmination of streets, factory rework, and I don't even know what else. Like it's just very. The one thing I will say, whoever classic BSG, but the gosh thing like PMC silhouette spray painted on the wall.
Oh my god.
That's so
Yes, you're
troll.
quite right about that.
That is so
There's
troll.
there's PMC silhouettes all over the place, and I think I did actually shoot one of them,
I'm
because
frostbitten.
they're terrifying. Yeah, so frostbite only seems to happen in like offline at the moment. I'm not sure whether it's
Okay, I was
some
curious
kind of
about
effect
that.
that's coming. Lots of people saying so far that you can't seem to get frostbite right now.
I was
I think we have
super
to wait
curious
for like a
about that.
storm or something. Yeah,
Yeah, because I
because
was
I've not
like,
seen it otherwise.
yeah, I remember reading about it, and I was like, oh, because it was just looking at the patch notes. I was like, oh yeah, there's frostbite in the game. I don't really think I've gotten frostbite yet. Why haven't I got frostbite yet?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, customs is cool. The only other thing that I'd say about it is you might have to be in the event mode. I'm not sure, but yeah, the only other thing about customs is there is a new flare extract on customs. Did I say about this already? I don't know. Maybe I
you
mentioned
did
it a
mention it
minute
a little
ago.
bit, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's down by Fortress. It's the end of the rail line, and just be really careful with it. Like maybe go and try it out in offline. Apparently you can get it to work, but yeah, I was like not on the rail track. I was like down the divot, and it didn't work for me. So if you do want to go and try it, apparently it does function, but you just have to be like stood on the rail line when you fire the flare, or
I
something like that.
wonder.
I'm not sure exactly. Just don't trust it. Just really don't trust it.
Yeah, definitely do some testing. And I wonder if the way it works is like, because you gotta be in the zone, and maybe it's like a box, and they didn't. Maybe it was like a
Big
last
enough.
minute thing. They slept. Yeah, maybe because it's like on this vertical plane. If you're like in the ditch, it's like, oh, maybe your position is calculated based where your feet are touched, and it thinks you're outside. Who knows? But
Yeah,
could be
something along
anything.
those lines. It's so annoying because it's just like the expectation versus what actually
Yeah,
happens. Because
yeah,
it's like, oh, signal zone. You're like, well, it says signal zone. I fire the thing, and the sniper just kills you in 2 hits if you're in the zone.
yeah.
So it's just like there's no chance to, like, if you make a mistake with it, that's it, you're dead. So I was down there on the left, and it was like, oh yeah, you can do it, and then I got shot.
But this is
Big
very
sad.
interesting because you reminded me of something else I was going to say, which was, speaking of custom map changes, we got this new extract, but we lost an extract, which was, well, we lost 2 actually. I mean,
Yeah,
not really, but kind of.
kind of. Yeah, the secret extracts, exactly.
Yeah.
So now we have the smuggler's boat. This is the only one with two, as far as I'm aware. Smuggler's boat and CB1012.
Yes.
Both of those are now the secret extract, which you have to find like a slip of paper in a filing cabinet. It seems like some people are saying they're on loose loot. Like I've heard different things. I've heard some people finding them in stashes, like ground stashes. I've heard some people finding there's one on Sturman that someone found for the woods one. Most of the others have been in filing cabinets, but you have to find this like piece of paper, and then you can go and like give them the code when you go through. That's kind of the idea. It's like guarded by scavs, and you have to give them the code to get out. But yeah, those extracts have been replaced with these hidden extracts now, so you can't get out of Smuggler's Boat or 12 ZP12 unless you have the special thing, and you can only use them in that raid. Like they disappear after the raid. They're like a one-time use only thing. Like on some of the maps, I think they've just probably just done it for doing its sake. Because I looked at like the Shoreline one, right? It's like up by the car exfil. It's also up by like the Red Rebel exfil. So it's like, why? Something you need to be there. Sometimes they just do
the
this
Scav
stuff.
Bunker one.
Yeah.
I got that same vibe. I bet they had it. I mean, pure speculation. Maybe it was like a last minute idea for like a particular map. Like, oh, what if we can retrofit this into like all the maps? I could see something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems like they're not on labs or interchange. I don't know really why.
The interchange one is definitely odd because God could be using another extract on that map. I know
like, we have the transit. They could have just put it in the same place with the transit because that's what they did for. Or that's what they did for reserve. Or that's what I thought they'd done for reserve. But apparently the reserve transit for Woods might have like moved or something. I don't know. I keep looking at posts from Rima because he's like updating his maps for the new extracts and things based on the information that he sourced from the community. And he said that one of them has moved. I'm trying to keep track, but it's hard at the minute. Like we'll see after it all settles. But I think the event has like screwed up some stuff. For example, like if you look on customs at the moment, there don't seem to be any transits. And it appears that the transits are not working or not open, or maybe they're purposefully turned off. I don't really know.
Yeah.
On maps with the event, I think. But yeah, as per Pillars just put in on YouTube chat, like I've just been saying for ages, they need these little puzzles as a way to force bosses to spawn. Yeah. The way they proved it works for the extra extracts. Like it'd be great, right? You go around, you solve a puzzle, whatever, like you force the boss to spawn, and you go kill them, but give some guaranteed thing. I think that'd be really cool. Anyway, I think it's good. Customs is good. Customs is working. The only place I found the hidden extract one is on streets because there's just millions of filing cabinets. But I don't know. Maybe you can get it on customs as well. I don't know if there's a good place to farm the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen one yet, but I think it's cool. I like it. It adds to the experience.
Yeah,
and
it's like I think it's almost like just the principle of it that makes me intrigued because it's like these more dynamic things. It's like it's not necessarily this on its own that's making me like, oh, I'm super excited about extracting out of ZB12 again using a slip of paper. It's like the fact that they are doing it, like they want to make the maps more interactive.
Yes, and I really
like you pick
that.
up a thing and it changes your plan. Like that's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
that's the bit. You do a thing, it changes your plan. You're like, oh, now I can do this. You're like trying to like reach, you're like adjusting your plans on the fly. Like that's what it's called. You don't just have a set idea. Completely changing tact. What do you think about prestige? What's your thoughts about the prestige mechanic? And specifically, okay, so let's talk about, because there's a whole bunch of gumph in the patch notes about prestige, but none of it matters because we got our first look at prestige. Prestige tab has appeared for me as well. I don't know when it appears, but it's appeared for me as well. Unlock conditions are a load of stuff that doesn't really matter and the collector task. Like the rest of it is irrelevant, honestly. Yeah, level 55, level 20 strength, level 20 endurance, level 20 charisma, security, level 2 rest base 3, intelligence center 2, 20 million rubles, and freaking Kappa. Like the rest of it's just completely irrelevant.
I don't get it.
It's just Kappa, that's it. It's basically it. Like, well, you may as well not put the other requirements in. It's so high up. The only thing I was thinking is it's supposed to be you finish the game.
Right.
And then that's going to be different, but they wanted to put prestige in, at least the first 2 levels, to just test it. So someone will get Kappa, somebody will prestige and see what happens, and then they can like bug fix it or whatever before like a million people do it and get it to 1.0, maybe. So maybe it'll be easier when you can actually like escape from Tarkov and actually finish the game in prestige, maybe. So I kind of understand that, but I hope that they like lower it a bit because otherwise
What do you
No
want to
one's
be
going to get
lowered?
this. Like the threshold for prestiging.
But
It's
like
so high.
specifically Kappa or like
Just not Kappa, just anything else. I mean, it could even be like Lightkeeper and a bunch of tasks. I don't even know.
hmm.
But just Kappa is just it's so niche and it's such a specific thing. And they always said like, oh, Kappa is just there to pacify, like the turbo no life gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was never really intended to be
This is
anything like proper for the game or whatever. And now Prestige is tied to it, which is just like really annoying.
well, you see, Prestige is to tie over the Kappa Turbo Life gamers. It's just the next tier of people you have to
Which is
pacify.
okay. I kind of understand that too. But I feel like it's a shame to have like, oh, we're gonna have these 10 tiers of prestige. And like, how many
Well, there's
people
only
actually
two
get
now,
Kappa?
right?
There's only 2 right now.
Yeah.
Probably because it's a test. There is a Kappa container achievement now, which is 0.7%
Mm.
of the player base.
It's pretty low.
It is quite low.
I feel like I would have said 1 or 2%.
It's pretty low. So,
But I guess that
and
doesn't count.
that's based on everybody. So, like,
Yeah, but
welcome to
only
Tarkov, die in
since.
Tarkov for the first time. If you trust the stats, I don't know whether we do actually trust the stats, but die in Tarkov for the first time is only 41% of all players. So that's
Yeah, but that
like, I don't know
doesn't.
whether that. I
That's
don't
not
know.
retroactive. I'm assuming. Like that doesn't count before achievements were introduced. I'm assuming.
No, exactly. So people who played, I don't know. It depends what you mean by all players. This is the thing. It's hard to know what the stats actually like, how to interpret them. So, like, does it count all players, but a player who bought the game in 2018 and
Right.
then has never played the game again? Are they counting in the like headline number of players, but they have never died in Tarkov, so they count in the stat as like someone who's part of the
Yeah.
60, or the 58% of people, 59% of people that never died? Is that counted? It's hard to know. It's hard to tell. But even assuming, I mean, I guess like, yeah, if you take 0.7 and divide it by the number of people who have died at least once, right? Because like you basically haven't played the game otherwise. This is like, I guess, more like current players. And that takes you to 1.8% of players who have had Kappa Container at some point since achievements have been introduced, based on, I don't know, some total. I don't know exactly what the total is, but based on some total, it's a very small number of people. Very small number. I wonder what the ratio is between, because there's a Lightkeeper one as well. Where's the Lightkeeper one? It's got to be higher than that. So Lightkeeper is, interestingly, actually, this sort of makes sense. Wait, the Kappa Path obtains secure container. Wait, hold on. Hold on a sec. Oh no, I did say it was 0.7, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, and I guess it sort of makes sense. So Kappa Path obtain secure container Kappa is like 0.7. Meet Lightkeeper for the first time whilst playing PMC is 0.8. So, like, I'm in the 0.1% of people that don't get
Wow.
Kappa but do get Lightkeeper. I guess I'm a very like special kind of gamer then, I guess. And my opinion should be discounted.
Or highly regarded.
I don't really know. And there's other questions from chat. Does that include PvP and PV for those stats? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, in general, I'm not too like I kind of just don't care. You know me, I've never really been into Kappa or any of that type of stuff.
Well,
So
not
this
after
is
the last time.
yeah. I mean, I just like it's fine. Like I think they got some cool ideas. Like it's kind of like a rogue like thing. Like you get something, like you get some little stuff, like extra +1 charisma skill at the beginning of the wipe, like super meaningless. It's like
You get the Prestige 1 armband though, Church. You look
yeah.
like an
I just
absolute
like
baller.
I couldn't care less. I mean, the only
You get a different main menu.
the only cosmetic thing that I do care about is, which is kind of like changing tack, but is the winter camouflage. I haven't seen anyone with it. Maybe that speaks volumes for it. But I was
Yeah.
like, because they've added new. Well, we don't have to. Was there more you're gonna say? I don't want to like completely change.
No. Go. Just move tact. Move tact. It's
All
fine.
right. They've added some new alternative gear. Like there's a bank robber in the classic black that we all know and love, and then there's like the bank robber Arctic edition, which is like grayish white.
Yeah.
And there's a few like that, and it makes me makes me hopeful for a future where we have the technology to just supply camos to our gear and not have these like duplicate items. Maybe one day, but maybe not. In any case, there is the winter. Can we actually preview it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you
Uh
can, yeah. These are
oh,
the
so
ones that
you
are
do
tied
the
to the event.
task line, but couldn't you
Yeah.
just straight up buy them? Yeah,
Mm,
okay. You can straight
maybe.
up buy them. Let me just see. Let's see what they look like and how much. Can I see this?
I think you have
Uh,
to be in your account. I think you have to log in because it's part of
oh,
the microtransactions bit.
all right. Let's see. I'm curious how much they are. I'm curious how much they are, and I'm curious what they look like. Because Rust kind of has like an issue, or I don't know what you call it, but they kind of have like a similar thing where there's like these pay to win camos. There's like a forest green one where it's like just like forest camo. They apply it to like all of their entire kit. And then you got like a winter one. It's like whiteout, actually, I think it's called. It's like when you're in the snow, it's like just you're so much more camouflaged as opposed to normally. So I don't, it's just one of those things. It's like, huh, we're here now. We're getting there. But it's interesting you can buy
Mm.
them too. Hopefully, I mean, I guess you can earn them. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just shut up and put up and grind out the skin. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think we can actually do it all yet. So the Khorovod, you got to reach interchange in the mode. So I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if I can be bothered to do it.
Yeah, I did see though there was a lot of you know um retro active sort of like rewards for doing previous events, like a lot of like
Mm,
hideout related cosmetics, which is
yeah,
kind of nice. I mean, not something I really participate in, but I'm glad like people are getting their value for their labors and doing these whatever events from however many years ago. But that's cool.
yeah, yeah. It's good. It's good. It's all right. Okay. So. Don't get distracted by the hideout. Right. What else is there? So we've got. Oh, have you like? Well, how are your feelings about the new AI mechanics then? Because I have felt it was been pretty cool actually.
Yeah, I was actually watching you play Interchange, the raid where you had the suppressed VPO and the
Mm,
suppressed VSK or whatever it's called.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, I think you said it best. Something like it's like new and fresh, and it's like actually fun to fight scavs again. It's not like a chore. Like previously, it was like, oh god, don't one tap me. Let me, you know, execute the 1 second time to kill that I need to do before he one taps me. Um, so I do like because I actually had an experience where the scav was shooting at me and went behind cover because I didn't hear him approach me, and he was just kept shooting behind the cover. I was like, oh, and then he
Mm,
stopped shooting. I was like, oh, he must be reloading. Sure enough, he was reloading. And it was like that felt good. Like I think I'm glad that they're like sort of like going back and like improving upon these things because I really haven't seen a whole lot of like changes to Scav AI outside of like range related stuff and like bush related stuff. But
yeah, they went through a period of changing them a bit, and then they kind of stopped for a while, didn't they?
yeah,
I think it's because they were like, focusing on doing it in PvE, and then like some of the PvE stuff is like filtered into PvP. Some of the good parts, like the scav horde thing, sort of happens. I still do find it quite annoying. Like they know pretty much exactly where you are. Like they will like wander into a building sideways, like looking at you like upstairs through a wall, and you're like, "Come on, like really?" Like, that kind of sucks. But like, yeah, I enjoy fighting them a lot more. Like on Interchange, it was crazy. They were like, they were like running from cover to cover, like firing at my last known position and stuff. I was fighting like 2 or 3 of them at once. Like it is cool. I do like it. It's definitely good, especially when they've got like green tracer and there's just tracer rounds going off all over the place, and it livens up the map as well. They will carry on shooting at you, even if it's not now just like, oh, I need to execute him immediately and or not be seen. Now they'll like carry on shooting even if they saw you, but they can't still see you. They'll keep shooting, so you hear scavs more often now. They fire more and are not shooting you, which is the best way for scavs to be. Like they're just making noise and you're not getting hit. Like that's fantastic. I love it. So
yeah,
I really, really like them now. Like somebody in my chat was just like, oh, that's definitely a player scav now. And I was like, nah, it's just the new mechanics that they're like, suppressing and stuff, and they like other scavs flank while one's suppressing and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. Or they try it at least. They give it a go. It feels more dynamic, and they do move all over the place. They move more through the map. They will chase you, to try and kill you and stuff. Like it's I like it.
Yeah,
it's good.
I suspect it's like fairly like basic stuff. Like it's not like
Probably.
this crazy AI model that they've but it's like just enough to like freshen it up, and it's a new experience, and it does add a lot, I feel like, to, as you just said. So I'm happy that they're doing these things, and it's good. It's good.
There's so much quality of life. I'm just like scrolling through. There's just so many things in it. It's just like priority window selection. You can now control click into any priority container. It's like insanely good. Heal all for med kits. Like right click top up on a piece of ruble, and it just combines them all up into 1,000,000 ruble stacks.
Oh, does it do that?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Someone told me this in chat, and I was like, "Oh, this is so good!
That's
It's
a game
really
changer.
good." There's loads of cool quality of life stuff actually that's come this way, which is just makes you feel really good. Like heal all is amazing.
I haven't used
I
it
need to
yet.
go and I need to go and have a look at the mechanics of it, because it still uses like the animation of the med kit, but it just cuts off at the end and heals another part. So I don't know whether the meta is like have your normal med kits the usual way that you have them set up, like Soleil, Hemostat, whatever, and then you also have like a cheese for heal all, so you can just go because it's got the fastest use time out of all the med kits. So heal all might be better off on like a cheese, I think.
That's a good. That's
the other ones
interesting.
take quite a long time still to like do the thing. But yeah, if you just want to full heal your thorax, like you still want a Soleil on you, right? But if you just need to heal up like a little bit on everything, and you don't want to use a Propital, like you just take a cheese and then just full heal on the cheese.
But yeah, now
I'm
wondering on the opposite end of the spectrum, because Grizzly, I know, heals like each animation heals over 85 HP. I forget what the value is, but it's like more than
175 enough for the Grizzly. Yeah,
there you go. So I wonder,
it doesn't matter because it still heals each part sequentially. It doesn't heal like
okay,
collectively like it does in like Delta Force.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or ABI, whichever one, I can't remember. It does each part like in turn, but it does it without you having to press the button. It's like
I see
faster because it's seamless. So that's why I think maybe the shortest possible medkit, the AI2, might be the best
as far as animation time.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So I need to go and test
that,
but I think that might be the deal. But it's still good because you can like move around still, right? Like you move around while you guys like medding everything. You don't have to constantly be like just pressing the button or it's neat. It's neat. Yeah, they'll control clicking into different windows because that works in Raid too. So you can like open your rig or open your bag, and the last one that you opened up, if you got it on auto, which I do, if you had the last one that you opened up, you can then just control click out of the enemy's like backpack, and it'll just go in the backpack every time.
Oh,
you don't
that
have like
sound
random
really good.
stuff going in the rig. It's like annoying if you take like a set of magazines or whatever. It's just kind of, if you don't open anything, you have the old priority. But if you open a bag, that's the priority window, and you can move your stuff into it. You can move their stuff into it. Like helps to just sort of start min-maxing items.
I wonder if you like toggle your rig. Let's see. I don't know how I would do that. Like, I wonder if you like equip and unequip your backpack, if it like recognizes that as a window. You know what I mean? And then you could like send stuff. Okay. That sounds.
I don't think so. There was something about.
Right. Oh wait, I don't know. What goes into rigs always? Do you know?
I think you could do it if rigs is like bullets. I think mags.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I don't. It's not working.
I think if you do manual priority, you might have to do it like every time you open it though. Because like
This
yeah,
is.
if manual priority is selected in the settings, it
Mm-hmm.
adds a prioritize this window button to windows with slots. When pressing the button, the selected window becomes the priority window. This can be removed by pressing the button again. When you close a window, the priority does not transfer to another window.
Maybe. Oh, what if you could just open up your
So maybe you open up
thing?
your inventory, you select the backpack as
Yeah.
auto if you're on manual, and then it's always the
Okay.
backpack. Well, the thing about that for me, like I just am circumventing that by literally just double clicking the bag.
Right. Yeah. That's see.
So
That's
on
what I
manual
was
mode,
thinking.
that makes it like automatically the yeah. You as long as it's open, as long as it's the last window you opened, it's the
Right.
priority window because it's got the little golden hourglass in the corner, which is how you can tell.
Yes. I
And you
was
can do
wondering
it then
about
either
that.
with the rig or you can do it with the bag. So as you're
Gotcha.
opening stuff, you can even click back and forward between them as you're like
Yeah.
adding stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta get used to because one of my biggest gripes is I loot like an AI2 and it goes in my backpack. Like I want it to go in my like why do I want an AI2 a healing item to go in my backpack? Go in my pocket, go in my rig. Like it's very
Mm.
annoying. But now you can just like double click on your rig and then you loot the thing and it goes in there. So well, progress.
Yep. So it's good. I like all of that stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever else? Whatever else?
Okay, I have one anti quality of life. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The new preview of items. I hate them. The icons.
They've reverted quite a few of them.
Revert them all. I hate them all. I can't stand it. It triggers me every time. Okay, like the
I don't
poxy.
really
Thank
care.
God they fixed the poxy RAM one because it looked like they took it's like they took the dimensions and like stretched it to fit every pixel in there, and it's like, oh my God, this looks awful. Like maybe the light bulb's an improvement, but yeah, the poxy RAM was like giga fat. Now it looks like the normal one. Tashanka's fine. Metal parts is fine, I guess. Nails is fine. Like what were the more egregious ones? I'm trying to remember.
I think this is the thing about it, right? There's a whole grouping of people. Like there are some people that quite like them, but there's a whole grouping of people that just don't care, like me, and there's the whole group of people that really hate them, like you. So it's like,
Really? Okay.
but I don't know why they keep changing them. They keep doing this. Though they always change random icons. Maybe they had to change them
But they did
because of
so
Unity or
many this
something. But
time. It was
I
like
know,
making me sick. Like
I
I'm
know, I
kind of
don't
used to it
understand.
now, but at first it was like, why is the splint like the way it is? Am I playing bootleg Tarkov right now? Like it looks like someone stole Tarkov's code and like
It
reverse
did feel like
engineered.
that.
Yeah, it was just like, what am I looking at? But
Yeah, I don't really know. Apparently,
anyways,
Tower's saying that they updated the rendering on scopes. A lot of scopes are much cleaner, like numbers on the March Tactical and stuff. Apparently, so
oh
only Tower would
nice.
notice. I think on my video when I was like talking about hidden changes, like the Tower made a comment on there, just being like BCP FMJ, they've changed the velocity. Like no one's noticed, but I've noticed. Damn it! I was like, Tower shouting at traffic
Oh
about
my
the bullet
God.
velocity on BCP FMJ because I think it's dropped by like 100 or something. Like it used to be quite good
Huh.
for range because it's like used to be quite fast. I laughed. I laughed. Uh,
But yeah. Um. Gosh,
okay,
where were
so
we?
I th- that's probably enough for now, right? I think that's probably enough for now. How did Tarkov break your friendship group then? So what happened? We had the
Oh
first part, right? You
God.
were playing together. You were playing Delta Force, and you came back for Tarkov White. Everyone was like, okay, no Flea, so this sounds like a good thing. What happened?
Well, I mean, Tarkov happened truly. So I've kind of like
Mm.
processed what was the problem, but you know, to walk you through it, we had been playing Delta Force, and Delta Force has a lot of accessibility. It's basically COD, and there's just a lot of like we had a trouble when we played Tarkov where it's like, yeah, he's right there. It's like, oh, I can't ping it. Like I was hitting the middle mouse button. Like that's happened a few times, a lot of times probably, where we're just like so used to pinging stuff.
Mm.
And it's just, it just makes things so much more easier, right? To just like
Yeah.
communicate. So we had to deal with that. And I'm personally like god awful with cardinal directions, right? Like, I still in real life have to like pause and think for a second, like especially East and West. Like North and South, no problem, but like East and West, I don't know why.
I don't. Why is East and West such a problem? Like, I am
I
not
don't
that
know.
bad, but East and West is also more problematic than North and South. North and South is just natural and easy. East and West is annoying. I don't know why.
Yeah, I still have to do never eat shredded wheat. I have to like say that as my mantra to like gauge where East and West is because I can't. So, but my other one of my friends, he's like, Mil Semi. He plays like airsoft on the weekends and stuff like this. He's like this stuff comes naturally to him. To me, I'm just like, he's by the tree. He's right in front of me. Like, it's really hard. So that was like, it was like causing a little conflict there. Because you're playing Tarkov, it's stressful. And like the worst thing about playing in groups is killing your teammate, right? And god damn it had to be me that killed my teammate. So we were in the new area and I was with one of my friends and we were like, well, one of my friends had thought, so there's Mayo and there's Shishbi. And Mayo thought he heard someone like spinning around inside the new area. Right. So me and Shishbi were kind of like clearing it out while Mayo was kind of like playing more Overwatchy style. But apparently he had said he was going upstairs to loot the computer in the new area. But I was so hyper focused on clearing that I missed that information. And it being a new map, we basically were clearing the bottom area. We went up some staircases, and suddenly I see this, shadowy figure with like, kind of like scav like gear on with a gun pointed downwards, looking down. And I'm like, this is it. This is the guy. I don't have to think. I just shoot gun. And so I shotgun, and team said, I'm dead. And I said, oh, because I knew what had happened, and it was an awful feeling. And I mean, that was not really the catalyst of it all, because more of the catalyst was just like the game. We weren't doing the true problem of the issue. The crux of the problem issue is that the game is stressful, and we're trying to communicate with each other with like primitive tools. We're not using modern technology. We're not using our second monitors and Discord screen sharing. That is honestly the problem, because no one wants to be the guy. Like, essentially, what we have to do is like hold each other's hands so we know where everyone is. Because mind you, too, we're in the new area. We don't know anything. Like, it's like he's by the what? Like, and then you got the vertical audio. Like, it's pure. It's like antithetical to cooperation. It is like the worst. And we were also doing this sort of like gag and half gag, half seriousness. Is like, oh my god, in Delta Force you can do this, but in Tarkov you can't do this. It was just like little things like that. Like, oh my god, I can't right click on the item to move it. I have to drag it. Stuff like that. And one of the things we thought was like, man, it would be so nice if like, you could still keep it like true to like immersion. But, like if you just like stared at a target for like a second, then it would like indicate that it's like an ally. Maybe you get like a little friendly icon, little Sherpa handshake icon, whatever. Like just something to where it's like, and you don't have to see them through walls or anything. Like I need just can you give me a little bit something, BSG? Because like I wanna be cool and like all tactical and be like, 40 degrees north by the delta hydrate of the building, whatever bullshit. But like at the end of the day, if I can just turn my head and I, like 45 degrees and see where you are, it's like, oh, okay. And then see the bad guy on your screen, like, oh, okay. It's like so much easier than whatever the heck we were going on. Because it's awful. Nobody wants to be the one that kills their teammate, because I can't resuscitate them. If I could, I would, but I can't. Delta Force, you can, but like you can't even kill your teammates. So you don't have to worry about it. Like it's just a completely different experience. And like I get it, but skill issue, sure, but it is just like it broke everyone. Like it really did. And now it's like what I don't think one of my friends, Mayo, he was just like definitely not really. He's like, guys, why are we playing this game? Like, because we're friends and we make sacrifices for each other. And then I murdered him for his loot. Can't let his loot go to waste. But no, like now it's like with Shishbi, like I was playing solo yesterday, and then we played duos for a little bit, and I was having a miserable time. Like I was like genuinely like this is painful because we were just like constantly dying, and it's just like I don't want to kill you, so I feel like I have to hold your hand, which then means like I make dumb plays, like I'm running out. It's like I just heard gunshots. I want to run to where you are, and then I get one tapped because there was gunshots right there. But like I didn't want to kill you. It's like it's awful. So I don't know. I'm gonna see if she's maybe down to because we actually didn't say anything. I just had like my third death in a row, and I was like, I'm gonna go jump in the shower. I'll be back. And then when I got back, like 45 minutes later, to take care of some things, he was gone. And I was like, yeah, that checks out. So I don't know if he lived or survived, but yeah, it's just like it's there's a lot of I see a lot of people in chat kind of jumping in the comment as far as like yeah hashtag relatable. It's just really hard, and like I realized I was like, you know what, it's the problem is not you or I, it's really we just don't have good tools for this, and it's a stressful environment. We should use Discord and stream
Yeah,
share.
it's like it's another. Yeah, the communication on its own is like another skill, but then yeah, I mean, most people are
For
using
sure.
Discord right if they're serious
And we
about
haven't
squad
played
streaming.
Tarkov together in a long time, so like
Yeah,
we got to relearn that stuff. And we acknowledged that at one point, but and I think last time we played, we actually didn't use screen sharing, and things were like semi okay, occasional team kills, but pretty normal stuff. But yeah, this was
yeah,
just like it was so crazy that dichotomy between playing solo and playing duos. It's just like, wow, I'm having a good time. To like, this is miserable. I hate my life. Like,
yeah. It's like one of the things that ended up turning me off team play actually because I was one of the people who like team killed probably more than anyone else in my group, and I had exactly the same experience as you, which was just I spent more time. Well, I was just like I would rather die
yeah,
than kill you by accident.
yeah,
Because it's just so miserable to be killed by your own team, and then you
yeah,
feel so bad when you do. It's like I would rather just lose my kit, honestly, than risk killing you. So like, unless I know absolutely that it's you, I'm just gonna die, and that's just it.
yeah.
And it just kind of pulls a lot of the fun out of the game. I actually just didn't enjoy it. It's one of the reasons why I just play solo because it's just yeah, unless you're like really in with somebody and you're playing with them all the time and you're really practiced or whatever, or you're both sharing the same comms and the same shortcuts for stuff and yeah, maybe even on Discord together, being able to, but like, you can't always be watching, especially if you're in a three, you can't be like watching everybody else's screen all the time.
Yeah, the multiple
Like,
screens can get pretty crazy.
yeah, like multi-screens thing, like it's a big advantage, but it doesn't overcome everything. You still have to be like kind of understand where they are, and there's
hmm
map knowledge to be able to look at someone's screen and know exactly what they're looking at, and all of this kind of stuff. It's still not that straightforward, which is why I kind of don't mind. Like the solo player in me wants to kind of go rah, 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 about Discord screen sharing, but because you're not looking at your own screen, it's like I kind of don't mind. Like it's already quite hard to communicate between multiple people, so I'm not really that. I don't really care too much. It's not like you have like a teammate indicator or whatever, but like yeah, I wouldn't care about like a slow-ish indicator. You look at
Yeah,
somebody and then it kind of comes up after like maybe it's 2 seconds or something. I don't know
yeah. You
because
could
like
have it skill based too, like it scales with a skill or something.
yeah, or I
Whatever.
don't know. Yeah, don't know, or maybe like you have to wear like something. You have to be wearing something. You have to wear
Sure,
one of the identifier like beacony things, or I don't know, like an
an
armband or something
armband.
like
Yeah, whatever.
something specific that like requires your PMC because then it's not just you. It's like oh, you're investing in your like PMC's ability to know who's a friend, and then because it's like it's weird, isn't it? Because like the immersion thing and the layers of abstraction is strange. It's like how much of this is like me as a person in the real world playing the computer game, and
hmm
how much of it is it my like character in the game with
hmm
the skills. And like Tarkov kind of plays out like your character in the game like knows nothing. You're just like an automaton
hmm
in in the game. Like everything is on the player. So I don't feel like it's necessarily problematic to be like, if your character is like an actual functional human of some fashion, right? That they would like know. Like there's been arguments about this before about immersion, not necessarily realism. So I could handle that. I think I could handle like an indicator of some kind, but it wouldn't be all the time. It like wouldn't be through walls. It would only be line of sight, and
Yeah.
it also would have a delay. So it wouldn't
You
help you
could,
if you like pop round the wall from somebody.
right.
It's not going to be fast enough. You're just going to die, right? It's like it would have to be highly balanced in a way that from a distance you could be like, oh well, that's Tom, that's you know Jim over there, whatever. It's like you can tell because your character knows. You can see what kit they've got, whatever. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's it's it's
it's a
it's
tough
interesting. It's
one
interesting.
because you could say, well, just wear the armbands, and like I've tried that before. We actually with this current friend group, we did do that previously. We had a fun little system. Like we actually stuck in groups of two, and we were like blue armband, and the other one was like orange armband. That
Mm.
was kind of fun, but you do occasionally. You can't always see the armband. Like it's not perfect, right? Maybe that's the point. But I don't know, just something like you were saying, it, and
There's a couple of good ideas in chat.
maybe it could even be like up close, like within 2 meters, you can get the indicator, but past that, you gotta have like a scope, and then past that, you gotta have like a LPVO. Because it
Or
would be kind
something.
of
Yeah,
weird, like the guy's 200 meters and you're just staring at him, and then you see Billy Bob 369 ally pop up on your screen. Like,
yeah. Tower's like, yeah. I think client side animation could work. Like you hit a key and the player on your team will automatically like wave or something at you, not requiring any input from them. So you
oh,
could like
that's kind of
know they were part of your
cool.
squad or something.
That's a good
And then
idea.
that's like made me brainstorm as well, thinking, maybe you could press a button, and your PMC would like shout almost like in game. I don't know if that would be like too crap. I probably wouldn't
Yeah.
work out, but you like you'd shout and they'd shout back, whatever, give you the indicator. So I don't know, something along those lines would be like acceptable. I don't think they'll ever do it, but I can kind of see it. So it's one of those funny things, isn't it? Though it's like it's one of the reasons why Tarkov is playable with all different groups because of this. It's like it's almost a balance thing as much as anything else. In that you can't play the cycle solo, you can't play Delta Force solo, you can't really play ABI solo. You just can't do it. But you can play Tarkov solo and you have advantages, but disadvantages too. You're outgunned, but you have like an information advantage because you know everybody is not on your team.
Yeah,
It's
you don't
like,
have to worry. Everything's shootable, right? Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, it's a tough one. I can see like the hesitation with not wanting to make it too accessible because then it becomes very
yeah,
stacked because it's already in some cases stacked. I just hate that, the solution to the problem is let's just use Discord screen sharing, and like that does a volumes amount, and it just feels like I want to be I don't want to use that as a handicap, because it feels cheesy.
yeah,
I want to have a more immersive experience, but this is what this is what we got to do, I guess. The other thing too would
yeah. I
be
know.
nice is when you're dead, I just want to spectate my teammate. Like, if I want to go do a scav run, I'll exit the raid and do a scav run. But like, I would like to see what's going on with my teammate, not have to, again, rely on Discord screen
Mm.
sharing. It's like,
Yeah, that would be quite nice.
because it's just kind of
That would be
like
quite nice.
boring. Just being like, oh, okay, have fun playing your game. I'm gonna go fuck off and think about my decision making.
Yeah, Kinder said your friends all need to wear LARP kits, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I'm like that definitely has worked for us in the past, like years ago when we were doing it. Just like you're not even wearing like good stuff really, but you're just wearing like untar blue. Like you all go like blue NATO boys,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's like that works for sure. If you can find something that's like semi decent and everyone wears the same outfit, then that actually can work, especially if it's
Until
like
there's the one guy
obvious.
in the group that infiltrates who has the same loadout.
Yeah, or somebody needs to, they need to swap kits out mid raid or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
always
yeah,
dangerous.
yeah, for sure. You upgrade to a better gear, then you just get blasted by your teammate. Oh.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I don't know. It's just the thing, isn't it? It's just the way. It's just the game. That's it. It's just how it
yeah.
goes these
It would
days.
just be. I mean, if it would just be a nice thing, but it's fine. It's just Tarkov, I guess. We could just say that nice bow. That's just Tarkov things. So we'll see. I'll let you know if the gang's still.
If everyone quits.
I think Mayo's definitely out. Like he's actually more interested in Skyrim VR and modding.
Oh,
so he's messing a lot with that. And
yeah,
he was already kind of like, Tarkov. But I'll see if Shishbi will stick it out for at least 2 weeks.
at least until the Flea reopens.
At least until the Flea reopens, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we have any other burning topics to cover before we finish? I know we just did like lots of random wipe stuff though. We could talk endlessly about it, right? I could talk for another 2 hours about everything that I've done, everything I've looked at, things I've seen, or whatever. But I think we've covered the main bits.
Yeah. Just quickly, MPX might be back on the menu for me personally. I noticed that they had some new barrel attachments, which, by the way, the new model looks great. But because they have these new Ronin barrels, they also come with their own unique suppressors, which I think you shouted out in your video, but there's 2 different ones. There's the 4.5, which is like so tiny. And what's crazy about this thing is like, it's the integrated suppressor basically. You just have to buy the barrel and buy the suppressor. But this thing has -3 ergo, which is like bonkers for a suppressor, right? Like I just can't get over how low that is of a penalty. Yeah. And the stats on it are amazing, right? And yeah, same for this one is like, what is this one? Oh yeah, I put the wrong one on there, didn't I? Yeah, I did. This one, the Ronin 12-inch, because there's 2 different ones. This one's -7 ergo, -13 recoil, which is like very good. I mean, so yeah, I don't know. It might be a bit of a meme, but level 2 Peacekeeper. I mean, I think you get most of this stuff, and there's Gen 1, Gen 2 handguards. They've added a lot of stuff there, so I don't know. I'm gonna give it a go and see how it goes. I'll report back how many shots were absorbed by helmet. Let you know.
It's mainly the ammo, isn't it? It's the issue.
Yeah.
So at this point, you just get no good ammo, and it's just so hard. Like even AP 6.3 at this point would be kind of like,
yeah. But it's still fairly early in the wipe. I don't have to worry about flea market enjoyers, selling their scav ammo to the Giga Chad. It's crazy too because it's like now, like T45M is like S tier, quote unquote. I mean, what's even PS? Or no, it's T45 higher.
PS is high. PS is 35, and then T45 is 30, I think. I've been enjoying PS though.
Yeah,
PS works for sure.
But like, it's just nice because now it's like people are a bit more slower to progress. So it's not like I don't feel this immense urgency to get to 15, and worry about getting behind the curve and have access to like, reasonable ammo. It's like everyone's kind of using whatever they can get their hands on. I like it.
Yeah. I had such a weird raid early on interchange.
Mm-hmm.
I was wearing a class 4 helmet, and we're pretty sure someone was using like 762 HP or something, or maybe even like 54R HP. I don't even know. And I was over by the scav camp trying to plant my blasted marker on the fuel tank, and I got a headshot like 4 times. And I think I ultimately think they were in like the front of interchange, like in the actual mall somehow. But this dude, like, I thought I was getting cheated on, but this guy, like, he like headshot me like 4 separate times, and I was just like, oh, I haven't lived on the head to fix that. Yeah, it was like the first 3 were back to back, and then he missed, and then he hit the last one, and then he like didn't hit me again. So I was like, I painkillered up, and he shot me all the way from the tank truck, all the way to like round the corner towards where like the stashes begin, towards like railway. Because there was nowhere else for me to go. Like there's no cover over there. Once you're in there, you're kind of stuck. So I was like ibuprofened up and then like just running, jumping from tent to tent, trying to get my stamina back up. Just oh my god! And he didn't hit me again, thankfully. But I was like, I was like, where is this dude? Like, what is going on here? But it was just like doink, 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 like a TC 2002, like going 32, 29, 25, 18. I was just like, I'm going to run out of durability at this rate. This is absolutely insane. And then the guy just like, yeah, at the beginning, he just was like, could not miss. It was bonkers. Like, he must have felt so cheated, but I don't know why you'd be using like HP or SP or whatever it was at that range, because like, and also then running into someone with a class 4 helmet, right, which is like kind of unfortunate because they're not like super common at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I found a couple and I just so happened to be wearing one of my TCs. I was like, hell yeah, this thing has actually
Doesn't
saved
that
my
feel
life.
so good when your helmet saves your life?
Yeah, literally like 4 times back to back to back to back to back. I was like, this guy must feel so robbed, like just so robbed. So yeah, that was really weird. That was like such a weird raid. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, it did feel good that it actually worked for once.
Yeah. That's what my friend said. He was like, man, ULAC's really, like, I'm a believer in helmets. I'm like, yep. When they work, it feels so good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you
definitely.
what, my coal pack has not saved my life thus far. It will the one day, though, and I will be rewarded for my very economic decision making.
I think that's the problem about the class 2s. It's like, what does it save you from?
Yeah.
You know? Like, it doesn't even save you from M882 most of the time. It's like,
it saved well, Giga, if they're sniping with their MP5, then it will save.
that's true.
You know.
Yeah, and it might save you from HP, 762 HP. It might save you from 556 HP. Scav shotguns, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Tank helmet.
Anyway.
New meta.
Yeah, so yeah, level 18. I mean, this is what day is this? This is day 4. Day 4 of the wipes day. And yeah, racing along, doing a little bit of arena here and there as things go. So boost up a bit. The XP is like nowhere near as much from the dailies. The actual XP you get from and money from the base, from the actual just like rounds, seems the same. You don't get as much XP and not as much like GP coin from the dailies, it seems. So it's an advantage, but it's not like bonkers.
Yeah.
Oh, and the CPC is now on Ref 4.
Yes, I saw that. That's good.
It's more money, but Ref 4. So it's Now if you want class 5, you basically have to go like Prep or Korund route. I think that's like the quickest way in. Yep, that's it really. I think.
Yeah.
For this week anyway. We'll report back next week with more, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
So then, stay frosty and get that fat loot, you rats. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Catch you later.